What's up, guys? Today we're here to do a ranking of the Insidious franchise. Now, this is a franchise I was just introduced to this year, so I seen clips of bits in here and there when I was a kid, but when I heard the newest one's coming out, so I thought it was time to binge this franchise, and I did. I watched all 5 and watched the newest one, so I decided let's go rank and put them in for the weakest to the best, and yeah, let's do it. Starting off at the bottom, it's really disappointing to say this, but it's the new one. Now, I had it a little bit higher before, but the more I think about this movie when I leave, the more I just don't see a point in this movie at all. It just felt like a retread of the second movie, and that's all it was. And it just felt like, this mystery, but we all know what it was. It just felt like this movie had nothing going on, like nothing new to say. Like I think Patrick Wilson coming to direct his debut here, like I was super excited for the family to be back. I think Patrick Wilson is an awesome actor, and I think everyone who's in those first movies were awesome actors to actors. The thing is, when it came to it, and I think they did their best in their performance, but it just felt like there was nothing here. Like this felt like this at the bottom, mainly because I feel like I'd never watch this movie again. Like I feel like I have no purpose to watch this again because it adds nothing new. You can watch the first 4 movies and basically don't have to watch the 5th one, and you miss nothing because nothing happens new. It's just basically you have the same kind of ending you did in the second one. There's nothing really new, and I was just really disappointed when I walked out and I was watching it. I'm like, even when they started doing it, trying to jog the memories, I was just thinking, I was like, they're not gonna do this the whole movie, are they? I don't know. It just felt like Patrick Wilson back, but let's just push him forward again to where he was back at the end of the second one. I don't know. It felt weird. I wasn't too happy with it. Probably never gonna watch it again. It's not horrible. I think Patrick Wilson does some great things with his directing, like with the scares, with the jump scares. I think they were great. I think his filming was great, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future. Just I wish this wasn't what his debut was gonna be. And yeah, anyways, let's go on to the next one. All right, my number 4 spot is gonna be Insidious 2. I have to put this above number 5, right? I have to, because like I said, number 5 was just a retread of this movie, so I'd rather just watch this movie. Now, do I think this movie's the weakest out of the whole thing? Yes, absolutely, but I can get some enjoyment out of it. I enjoy seeing the family. I enjoy seeing some of the prequel stuff. And the only part that really bugs the shit out of me is sometimes with these first 2 movies especially is these jump scares are very predictable. Like they are very set up to where they're very predictable. And I think it's because these types of movies have been copied so much over the years that it just feels kind of generic jump scare type of things. And like I said, it's probably not the fault of the movie. It's just all the copycats that have been over the years, and they've just taken this trend and they've taken basically the format these first 2 movies took, and they have that build up with that music and then the boom, and do that over and over and over again, and it bugs the shit out of me every time I watched it. I can watch it and be fine, but there's certain things like that annoy me, and I don't really enjoy it. But like I said, I still enjoy Patrick Wilson and all the family and stuff like that. I think they're a great cast, and that's what makes this movie up there still over 5, because I'd probably rewatch this still, but I just have no interest to watch 5. It's just, man, I was so disappointed by 5, man. Ugh. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is going to be, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but The Last Key. Now, I enjoy this movie. I enjoy it a little bit more than 2. I enjoyed knowing Lisa's background, and I think it was interesting to see that, and then certain story elements they put into there, and then how everything led up into the first movie. Thought it was really cool. I think she really carries throughout this franchise. She's a great character to have around, and she does a great performance. I feel like that's why they kept doing prequels, was because they killed her off in the first movie, and they're like, fuck, we killed one of the best things about our movie, so now we have to keep doing prequels. But I enjoy seeing her. I enjoy when her little goons or whatever, and they're like the comedic relief. I enjoy seeing them. This movie is really fucking dark. I think this is probably one of the most darker movies out of this franchise, but I would probably watch it over 2. And I don't know, I have a more interesting time watching this movie than I do over 2. Or it could change. I don't know. I have to rewatch these at some point, but that's just how I'm feeling today. The Last Key is going to remain there. All right, we're going to go on to the number 2, and it's going to be Insidious 1. Now, Insidious 1, I enjoy this movie. This is kind of where I feel like a little bit more of the generic part plays into it, where people have copied it over and over again. So when I came to this movie, I felt like I felt all those generic parts, but there was one jump scare that genuinely got me that didn't have the boom, and I felt like kind of got pissed off at it because I was like, you had just a great jump scare there. You kept doing the whole music build up and then the boom. if you just take that out, I feel like it makes these movies a lot better. But besides that, I think, like I said, I like Patrick Wilson. I like the family. I think they're a great cast. I think they do great in this movie. I think they did like setting up this creepy element, trying to figure out everything. I think was cool. Getting Elise introduced into this. I was debating where I was gonna put this, but at the end of the day, this is one of the better movies. If I take my bias out of, having seen all the copies or whatever beforehand, and then seeing this and thinking like, oh, it's generic or whatever, it's just a good movie. It's kind of layout of what The Conjuring was going to be and whatnot. I think they did it way better in The Conjuring. I like The Conjuring more than this movie, but I still do enjoy the movie for what it is. And now that I've like calmed down a little bit afterwards and just really thought about it, but it doesn't beat out number 1, which is going to be the Insidious Chapter 3. Now, I really enjoyed this movie watching it. I feel like it was a different pace. I feel like it was kind of different. The scares in it are super unnerving. A few of them got me. And basically where they hit the girl and her legs are like broken or whatever, and she can't do anything. And I think it adds like this whole new sense of dread in this movie of like, what the fuck is gonna happen? You can't go anywhere. And I really thought it added something new to this story that everyone says, like, why don't you just run away from them? Why don't you run away from them? In this movie, she can't. She's in a wheelchair and she can't get out of the bed. And I think just even learning her backstory and with her dad and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, I felt like I enjoyed this movie out of all of them. Like, I had the best time watching this movie. And I think it was really good because they kind of took out all the problems of those last few movies and made it into this one. So, yeah. So this is where it's going to remain. This is kind of a shorter video, but is it one of my favorite horror franchises? No. I think there's some great movies in this, like the third one and the first one. But I do think it's like a solid horror movie franchise, like haunted house movie type of franchise. I think it's solid enough, like instead of the other ones you see where they're like super generic of how they do things and whatnot. I feel like they added a bunch of new story elements that make it interesting and make it interesting to watch these series and binge through it, except the 5th one. But besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll be doing more rankings more if time goes on, depending on what movies we go and watch next. But I feel like I just want to give my thoughts on that. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to this channel, I do movie, TV reviews and video reviews and sometimes rankings and stuff like that. More commentary based videos. If you want to see that, subscribe to this channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.
Ain't no simpin', just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin', just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin', just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin', I'm just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin', just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin', just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin', just pimp chimpin'. Ain't no simpin'.